Hello and welcome to Cartographica's website, macgis.com. We are introducing a series of new quick tours that are designed to show you some of the newest features available in Cartographica version 1.4. In this quick tour, I will direct you to the Layer Styles window and the Über-Browser. To highlight the new Layer Styles window in Über-Browser, I'm going to use data from DCGIS, which provides a lot of free and interesting spatial data about Washington, D.C. The data layers being used here are census tract layer, metro lines, and metro stations. I'll start by looking at the layer styles window for the Polygon layer. So I'll double click on the layer in the layer stack. This is the layer styles window for version 1.4. Biggest difference from version 1.2 are these two panes on the right hand side here. I'll start by talking about the pattern pane. So the pattern pane allows you to adjust the fill and then the pattern textures of the polygons. So you can click on the fill box and then select a color. Or you can select, click on this box to bring up the Über-Browser. And so you can see when you click on the box and you're working on the pattern pane, the Patterns tab will be selected in the Über-Browser. Here you can see a number of new built-in patterns that you can use to change the pattern textures for the polygons. So you can click on one of the textures and drag it over to the box in the layer styles window, drop it, and then you can see in the background the polygon texture has changed. To delete the texture, if you've added it, just click on the box in the layer styles window and then click delete, and that will remove the pattern texture. Something else we can do is look on the based on option in the top left, and we can select a variable. I'll just choose the first one here, and we can add a number of categories to the table. And so we are looking at the age distribution of people 0 to 4 years old, so little people. We can click on the gearbox and then choose a distribution or reclassification method here. So I'll choose to do natural breaks according to Jinx, and you can see that the data have been redistributed across the categories. To add a new color scheme to the table, come over to the Über-Browser and click on the Palettes tab, and then here you can select a color palette to add to the layer styles window. So we can click on the heat ramp, drag it over to the table, and then you have a new colored choropleth map on screen. So we can close these two windows for now, and then we can double click on the metro lines layer in the layer stack to bring up the layer styles window for a line layer. Again, the difference from version 1.2 is this pane on the right, this time titled line. You can click on the box within the line pane to bring up the Über-Browser. Again, this time because we're working with the line pane, it will automatically select the line tab in the Über-Browser. Here you can see a number of new line styles we have available in version 1.4. To use any one of these, just click and drag it to the window, or for the layer styles window. I'll close the Über-Browser, and you can see in the background that the line styles have changed. Again, we can use the based on menu. This time we can select the name field in the metro lines layer, come to the gearbox, and then click on distribute unique values. And so you can see in the table we have the names of the different metro lines within the city, the blue, green, orange, and red and yellow lines. So we can assign the appropriate color to match the name of the metro line by clicking on the fill box and then changing the colors to match the name of the metro line. And so you can see on the map, all of the metro lines match the color of their name. Finally, we can look at the layer styles window for the metro stations. Double click on the layer in the layer stack. Again, the difference, the pane on the right, this time titled symbol. We can click on the box again, and this time the symbols tab is selected in the Über-Browser. You can see we have a number of built-in symbols here. On the top, these are symbols that will be available to you when you download version 1.4. In the bottom, there are a number of user symbols. These are symbols that I have found on the internet doing image searches. So the way this works, you perform an image search on the internet to find some symbol that you would like. Then you save it to a file somewhere in your computer. Then you click Add. I have saved an image to my desktop for bus stops. So I'm going to click on that image and then click Open. And then you can see I have a new symbol added to my symbol library here that I can use now to represent points on my map. I'm not going to use the bus stations now because we're dealing with subway stations. And so I will look at the metro stations symbol. So I'll click and drag it over to the symbol box, drop it down. If you want to resize the symbol, you can use the slide bar, or you can type in a specific metro or size for the symbol to resize it. If you look on screen, the symbols are currently black boxes. The reason for this is that the stroke option is selected. The way the stroke option works for symbols is that if you use an image like we've done here that has multiple colors, so in this case we have a black and white image, the stroke color will be assigned to both colors. So you get the silhouette effect that you see on screen. The stroke option is more useful when the symbol being used is a single color. So if this metro station symbol were all blue, then the stroke color that would be assigned would be, instead of blue, it would be black. So it's more useful when you're using a symbol that only has one color as opposed to multiple colors. So to remove the stroke effect, just uncheck the stroke box, and then you can see the metro station symbols on screen. A final thing we can do is add labels to the symbols. So you can come to the item label box and type in a custom label, or you can use the insert field menu down here and add a field from the point layer as symbols or as labels for the symbols. So in this case we'll use the name field. So you can see on screen this individual stations have their names used as a label. And then another thing we can do is press the enter key and then use the insert field menu again, and this time select a different field address, and I will zoom in so we can see this a little closer. So you can see we have item labels on multiple lines here. So if you want to label a point with more than just one field, you can do that. A final thing I'll show you how to do is change the size and font of the item label. So highlight the fields within the item label box and then control click, come to fonts and then show fonts. And then here you can select the different fonts, the different typefaces, sizes, and you can also recolor or change the color on the individual labels. So that's layer styles and Über-Browser in Cartographica version 1.4. Thank you for listening.